Hello, everybody. My name is Lorinda Kahn. I'm the director of something called the Lexicon Ambassadors Program. We are a United Nations G17-based leadership program for young adults. The young adults are defined as high school and young college students. Our program is developed out to align with the United Nations G17 goals, one of which is equal access to education. So we have expanded our projects from the South Africa Literacy Project, the South Asia Cancer Surveillance Project, which is basically a public health initiative, to include a project in China, which focuses on oral English or conversational English. We as a group have been meeting with Chinese students and exchanging narratives and stories. My original idea came from a journal article that I read about a program in Germany, which brought together students who were native speakers with immigrant students, and they told each other stories and they retold each other's stories in a way to increase vocabulary and the usable language. I found this to be fascinating. My background is in creative writing. I have an MFA and my background is really poetry, but this idea of narrative voice really resonated with me. So that was the original source of inspiration for this program. The implementation proposal that I have is to increase my use of video, in particular on YouTube, to kind of broaden the amount of content that we're able to share with students. YouTube is good for students in that they can watch and rewatch videos. In China, there is something called the Great Firewall, which is a really great, kind of play on the idea of the Great Wall of China. Students frequently have difficulty accessing content outside of China. My original implementation was of Moodle 3 years ago. When I started the Lexicon Ambassadors Program, we developed out the courses. I purchased a cPanel from GoDaddy and installed a Moodle server of my own, and we have classrooms there. What I found is that for students in China, that the Great Wall frequently blocks their access. In particular, I had one incident where I was doing a group quiz where all the students were live at the same time taking the quiz, synchronicity at a distance format. And the servers interpreted that as a cyber attack and blocked their access. So, after that, I struggled to find another platform that could be used, something that was simpler for the Chinese language learners to understand. I ran across a classroom service called Skool, SKOOL. It is not a full learning management system. It is a place where you can create course content. They have an announcements tool which functions like a discussion thread, which can be attached to a classroom. You have the ability to create classrooms, upload content in terms of graphics, images, attachments, links out to video, which is where the YouTube implementation would come in, and other things. It does not have a full grading or assessment tool for that portion of it. So that would limit the feedback that the students receive using Skool to the narrative feedback that they would receive in the public discussion threads. Or the feedback that they would receive via Zoom video lectures. My implementation proposal is to expand our current use of YouTube. At this time, we have a YouTube channel that has maybe 12 to 13 videos out there. They are currently shorts. Those shorts are tongue twisters. The idea behind the tongue twisters was that the students could watch and rewatch those tongue twisters, practice their phonetic awareness, and improve their pronunciation and become more comfortable. I found that the Chinese students tend to be a little bit reserved, and I don't know if that's a cultural trait in terms of learning, but the tongue twisters seem to help because they are funny, and I do not edit my videos. If I make a mistake, I want them to see that everyone makes mistakes. So future use of the YouTube would be to produce a series of canned content that students could watch in a, whether it's grammar, whether it's intonation, whether it's sentence structure. Secondly, a podcast series. The idea behind the podcast series would be to improve listening comprehension. One thing that has very much surprised me in this project is that a lot of the students who I consider to be advanced English speakers tend to have very low listening comprehension skills. I was very much surprised to know that someone that I perceived to be, very adept at speaking in English, when she told me, oh, I really only understand 30% of what's being said in the conversations. So podcasts do have the option to, we'll have the option to format them in such a way that the programming is logical, that we can add written content down below the YouTube. We have the potential to add subtitles if we choose to do so. And that will give the students a good opportunity to practice those listening comprehension skills. The mission of the Lexicon Ambassadors program is to make the world a better place. This YouTube video project, including live streaming, really does have the opportunity to bring together the students from the US and the students from China in a lot of different ways. Through the school app, I think that the number of students that we will be able to help will increase dramatically. So I think that that's about it that I have. You can read the rest of my implementation proposal in my written document. Thanks so much for listening to me. It's been great to meet you. Bye-bye.